Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition to the Red Raider Coaches Show. My name is Brent Johnson and I have a couple guys with me today. You'll notice on the right there, familiar face, the offensive coordinator, Mr. Matt Wilson. We're glad that he's with us today. But maybe an unfamiliar face, at least up close. Maybe you've seen him on the sidelines or if you rode by during practice. Got a brand new coach this year. We introduced one of our coaches a couple of weeks ago and now we've got a new guy here. He is our defensive line coach. This is Mr. Moses Eason. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
You nervous?
Glad to be ready.
You ready for the show, man?
I'm ready.
Ready for the big time. It's the big show here. No, I'm trying to relax myself, and I always get a little nervous too for these shows for some strange reason. I've been doing them for a long time, but you know, we pre-record this and we joke about it. Hey, if we mess up, we can start over. But I've only had to do that, but just a handful of times over the years, so that's always good. But nonetheless, Moses is here, and he's all the way from Appleton County. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
From Appleton County, I played football in Baxley. We played all 4 years over there. I played a little bit of offensive line. I played defensive line. Went on graduating. I went on all the way up there to Iowa. 14 hours away from home, man. 14 hours away from home all by myself. I went up there and I had the chance to prove myself and start off 4 years as a defensive lineman and defensive tackle up there in Iowa Western University.
That is awesome.
My senior year, I was honored as an all-conference player. So.
Wow. Now, what conference was that?
Put
you on the spot.
North Star, NAIA.
NAIA. And you got a good education up there?
Yes, sir. I got 4 years of a physical education degree up there. So.
Awesome. Was it cold up there?
Man,
Just a little bit.
and the weirdest thing about it snowed in April.
Wow.
So y'all over here having sunshine or having rainy days, you're having snowstorms and blizzards in April.
Well, that is awesome to hear, and he said that, folks, at home, and I want you to talk to your sons and your daughters, and this be an example. I mean, he just said he went 14 hours away from home all by himself, number one, because he loved football. Right. And you know, and they were giving him an opportunity to extend his career, which it doesn't happen for everybody. And he got an education while he was there, and he brought it back home. That's awesome. And hopefully you'll be an example to some of our guys here that'll have the courage to do that, because it's hard to leave. You know, Alma doesn't have a whole lot, but it kind of just sucks you in. It wants to kind of keep you here. But there's more out there, especially if you have an opportunity to do something you love. And that probably made it a little easier, the fact that you went to play football, you just didn't go off to go to school somewhere. But man, that's encouraging, and I appreciate that. And hopefully, again, like I said, that'll be an encouragement to some of our kids that won't be scared to go venture out and have the courage to do something like that as well. That's going to make them a better person. And then again, bring it back closer to home. And who knows, he may end up wanting to be back in Appleton County, and we won't hate him for that. At some point in time, a lot of guys want to maybe make it back home at some point in their career, but we're glad to have Moses here. Yes, I appreciate you being here.
Happy to be here.
Good. Coach, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm great.
Man, it's always good
after a win.
Yeah, I'm talking about
I knew you was going to say that.
Man, these shows are great after
That's
a
the
win.
ones I make sure I'm on.
Now, we have shows obviously where we lose and we play well, and that's good too. We want to continue to get better, and I think that's what we've done over the course of the last couple of weeks, and we've just been fortunate to come out on top on the scoreboard, because sometimes it don't work out that way.
That's right.
But we had a big week last week, man. Homecoming, we discussed it's difficult for us teachers, much less as these coaches trying to keep these guys focused. We had a week off as well prior to homecoming week. So it was difficult keeping these 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old boys, focused at school, much less, after school during practice and in the weight room. But Everything come together. I think the coaches did a pretty good job over those 2-week period of time. If you come out to the game last Friday night, I think you would have saw something pretty special. Overall, we played really well. Sure, there's things to clean up, and he'll talk about that. But we got a big victory over a Lanier County team who last year had one of their best seasons ever. And if I'm not mistaken, Coach, they brought almost everybody back from that season that contributed. So, and you said the week before, I think I joked with you, man, you sound like Lou Holtz there. There's no way we can win this game. How he was describing, the running back, the quarterback, the receiver, and the size that they brought to the table. So, Coach, tell us your overall thoughts, initial thoughts about how that game went, especially from the offensive side.
Yeah, it was good. I thought we executed good. Like you said, homecoming week, coaches are always a little, homecoming's really for all the fans and everybody else, but we always say we got a game to play. And the boys did good. The boys got back focused. After all the pep ride stuff, they got back after school, and we got them back right. So we was happy about that. You never know with teenagers in homecoming.
Right.
So they realized we do have a game to play, and they showed up early. I think last time I was here, I told you. I think it was before we played Troutland. Offense was having trouble with the first drive of every game.
That's right.
The first drive.
That's right.
The other 3 games were 3 and out. It wasn't even no first downs or nothing.
Yeah.
3 and out. And then thank God, Troutland, we scored. I think that was the first
play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then actually the Lanier one was for offensive for us was even better drive to me because we took off all kinds of time on the
8
clock.
minutes off the clock.
It was just first down. So that was excited about that, and we executed better. Our discipline's better, and that's still a process.
Sure.
We always got to, but that's what we're preaching: execute, have discipline, everything you do, class, character, commitment, like we did. And I thought we moved the ball pretty well for the most part all night, and so I was excited about that. Just starting off right,
That's
good,
right.
not no 3 and outs.
That's right. Well, the game itself, we had a long 2 weeks, and then we had a long evening, afternoon and evening as well. We were a lot of the foo-foo, I would say, about a homecoming is the homecoming court, which is a big deal. We're crowning a king and queen. Of 2 people that represent our school each year. And fortunately, we were able to get that in on time. We started about 6:50. If you weren't there with us, you can go back and watch it on the NFHS network. I've edited some of the weather delay and some other things out to kind of compartmentalize the game and stuff. But so we had right after that, I think the alarm went off during the court, but so we kind of hurried it through. We got through with it, and then we got everybody out of the stadium because of the massive storm that was pretty much just north of us, but a lot of rain, and had about about an hour and 15-minute delay. We got kicked off about 8:45. So then, how hard is it to keep the guys focused after they come out, they warm up, and they're ready to go, hit somebody with another jersey on, and then you have to go back into the field house.
It's discouraging because I'll be honest, we had a really good warm up. We had a good pregame, and we was ready to go. Boy, had shoulder pads on, and then that happens, and that's even after, like you said, homecoming week and all this, and now this happens, and we was like, oh boy. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, we all huddled up in the locker room. The coaches got in there, and I'll be honest, we was focused. Everybody was together in sync, knew what we had to do, and it didn't get out of control, and it worked. It showed.
It showed.
And we actually caught on some little pregame stuff we're going to start doing from now on that helped.
Well, good.
So it helped us. I don't know. We all kind of synced in.
Yeah.
It helped us all. Sometimes you got D-line goes here, O-line goes there, quarterback's here, and we was all together. And it worked. We was all in sync, and it showed when we got out there.
Well, that's good. These are the things why we have this show. People at home, we're Monday morning quarterbacks, and we don't know all the ins and outs about everything. But when something like this happens, it's nice to know that to have an idea of what goes on inside the locker room, so to speak, to prepare these guys. Because you're right, you can't argue with it because we come out, we drove down the field, 6-8 minutes off the clock, we score. Next thing you know, it's 21-0, and we're rocking and rolling. So obviously. The coaching staff did a great job of preparing not only for the 2 weeks, but the 2 hours, really, ultimately, that we waited after they started, from start to pregame till we kicked off. And so that was a phenomenal job. Congratulations to to Aiden Cawthorn. He's the homecoming king. He was wearing the Red Raider jersey out there on the field. And then Thea was the queen. But I just wanted to recognize our football player for getting that. Great representation. Always good. So, obviously it was 21-0, I think, at halftime, right? 21-0 at halftime. I think it was. Yeah, it was something nothing. So tell us a little bit about was it 7?
I think 27-0.
27-0. You are
we
correct.
scored one.
We scored that last pass play right when time was running out. I'm sorry. That was It was led better to green.
Yep.
Just a few seconds left. So 27-0. Had a botched. It was a low snap that hurt us on the extra point.
Yeah, it was.
27-0. So defensively, we looked pretty good that first half as well.
We did. We looked very great. The guys came out and they played very, very physical. They were very aggressive up front, linebackers, even our secondary was very aggressive, filling down the alleys. What I liked most was the defensive line got that run game stopped. If we could stop the run game, they can't run no clock on us. We can get the ball back to our offense with time. Well, what I like most about our defense is they play together. If you watch the fumble recovery by Aiden Cawthorn, number 10, and you seen him running the ball, you seen everybody in front of him blocking. You seen a couple of pancakes throwing guys around, trying to make sure that guy gets to the touchdown. And we got plenty of yards on that play and got the ball back to the offense. So the team played very well together. We keyed in on all their tendencies. We talked about it all week long. If they're in this, they're going to do this, and if they're in that, they're going to do that. And you heard the boys out there calling out plays, and they were ready to rock and roll. So they were mentally ready and they were physically ready, and I was so proud of them guys.
Well, that's a great explanation. You said earlier, physicality, and we talked about that when Thad was here a couple weeks ago. We do have some guys that they like contact on defense, and trust me, if you can go back, I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but I heard more clanking and clacking of helmets and pads Friday night than I've heard ever in a long time. And you know where our press box is? It's way up there off the field.
Hear it, it must be.
And I mean, there was some smack was being laid down, and it was I just love that physicality. And there's sometimes you can be overly aggressive and it gets you in trouble, but not this group, not so far. You don't want to pull the reins back on them. You want to let them horses run and let them go. So we're real proud of that.
And to piggyback off of what he's saying, they had 3 turnovers. We had 3 turnovers. The offense had 0. And usually when you're a +3, you got a chance to win. You're gonna have a chance to win. And I'll be honest, defense has done really good getting turnovers all year. I think y'all are 12 now.
About 12.
12 turnovers in 4 games.
That's awesome.
That's good. And we had a special teams. Special teams did real good.
That's right.
They got us a touchdown. So just a full team.
Just a full team effort. And we get into come out in the second half, and it's almost like they got the ball back, and they went down. They scored that first drive. I think they did. They went
getting about 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the 2 touchdowns that they scored, they advanced the ball pretty far on the kickoff. And I told somebody, I said, that's really the only reason I don't think they could have drove the field on our defense.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily knocking the special teams kids either, but it just is what it is. Those special teams close games can make or break you. Fortunately, we had the game pretty well in hand most of the night. But that didn't stop us. They go down and score, we go back and score. Every time they scored, we matched it with that 41-14 final, which was just a great win for Raider Nation, especially on a homecoming. I was very pleasantly surprised at the crowd that came back into the stadium.
I agree.
Everybody had to leave the stadium on the weather delay. You had to seek shelter. That is school policy. So we went from a relatively full stadium to an empty stadium, and then roughly an hour and a half, almost 2 hours later, we had a pretty good crowd in the stands. I don't know the exact numbers, but I was very, very pleased with that. And they stayed with us right there till the end. And again, just a great win for Raider Nation. Anytime you win at homecoming is always a positive. It kind of creates some momentum. Now we got to turn the page on these really 3 wins in a row now, Raider Nation, and we're headed into the the teeth of our region schedule. You know, Thomasville, Georgia is a name solidifies football, baseball. They're known around the state from the south at least or southwest of being a competitive, consistent program down there. And I tell you what, I'm excited to go. Anytime we get a chance to go play a new opponent.
Right.
By the way, I've tapped into my historian yesterday. Bacon County has never played Thomasville in football.
Wow.
Only baseball in the playoffs. And then we have to go back like 60 something years for some other things, but never played Thomasville as a football program.
Okay.
So that's fun to know. I've been in that stadium one time, just a personal note. We actually stopped there in 2011 on our way to Seminole County in the first round of the state playoffs. The boys did a walkthrough in that stadium.
Okay.
We ate in Thomasville, and then we went on all the way down to Seminole. Nice facility. Now they have a turf.
They do.
So that's going to be cool. But again, just a tradition there, and I'm just interested. I'm just glad to be a part of it, and hopefully our boys are looking at it as an opportunity as well. So, what's been the game plan or strategy or the mindset of you coaches, looking at Thomasville Bulldogs? What are they going to provide? What are we up against?
Yeah, Thomasville's a good team. I think they're 2 or 3 in the state right now. Three in the state.
Yeah.
3 in the state in our division. And like we said, we said it last 2 year, we used to be thrown in the fire, and this is just. That's why we want to play clinch early, stuff like that. Clinch is a traditional team, and Thomasville's the same. Yeah. Thomasville's just a bigger school.
Bigger school. Yeah.
They're a bigger school, and they got a lot of tradition. They got good. They got good players everywhere. We're just trying to, next game mentality.
That's right.
The same thing. We're going to prepare like we do for every team. They're going to be a 4-man line. They're 4-3. Sometimes they'll move that backer in and out. Stuff we do. Thomasville and Lanier was more like you kind of. For offense and looking at our defense, you didn't really know because they changed. They did a lot of different stuff. Thomasville ain't doing it. Thomasville, we know what they're going to do because they've done it so long. They've done it good. They're not. We know how they're going to line up, and we know what they're doing. They're just going to say, try to beat us.
Yeah,
they don't try to trick you.
Right.
They're going to line up in this and say try to beat you. And so we're just saying, it's next game mentality. It's just
what players do we need to look for when we show up that night? Watch them warm up.
They got 2 good athletic ends, number 10, number 2.
Okay.
Their linebackers, number 33 is good. They got 47, 48. Their secondary, I think, is number 2 and 20 or 22, something like that. And they all fly around. They do a good job on defense getting to the ball, and they know, like I said. They don't change nothing. They don't try to trick They don't try to trick us, and they don't trick themselves either.
Right.
They know where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm here
It's
every
good fun,
time.
just fundamental.
Yeah, right. That's what they do.
Discipline.
So as a whole, that's what they do. They're going to be here. I'm going to spill here. If he squeezes there, I'm right there.
I got you.
Secondary knows what their coverages are, stuff like that. So
I got
that's the good thing about them never changing. They know what their jobs are. So
how about from Thomasville's offense, from what you've been able to study and prepare your kids for?
Looking at the offense, this will be our 3rd week playing the spread team, so we kind of know what we're up against. But they have some real good talent up there now. That quarterback, he doesn't mind pulling it and running every now and then. It's not exactly what he wants to do, but he can do it. He has a nice arm on him. All the receivers are good, catching and running. One of the key players to me is number 7, their running back.
Okay.
He might be small, but he's very, very fast, and he will break tackles. They use him in the swing game. They use him in the screen game. Inside zone, he'll take one for 60 yards. I've seen it for myself. But he's a pretty good guy, and they'll run that wildcat with him in number 3 every now and then. So we know what we up against. We just got to come out and be aggressive. The offensive linemen, they're decent as well. So if we can stop that run game, and just like we've been doing every week, stop that run game. Get them to throwing the ball and get some pressure on that quarterback, I believe we have a chance.
Force some turnovers. You got to have some good things happen. When you go into the backyard of a team that knows how to win and with some tradition, you got to have some things go your way.
Right.
But things go your way when you do the things you're supposed to do, you're coached to do.
that's it.
You hear them spouting out the numbers of these guys. That's film study. That's when they're spending time on as soon as Saturday, Sunday, and throughout the week, preparing these guys, preparing themselves, for the scheme of the games, and then letting their players know who they need to look out for and all that good stuff too. But I told my dad this weekend I'm excited about going to Thomasville to play football. It gives our kids some more exposure. We've already talked about how this region, and we'll talk about the rest of the teams, but we kind of jumped out of the frying pan into the fire, where we had Irwin and Brooks last year, and
Right.
Pelham was a very solid team as well. But now we're, Thomasville, Fitzgerald, Worth got some kids that can go. Jeff Davis is where they haven't been in a while. So again, just tough sled the rest of the way to go, but that's what we signed up for.
That's right.
And we've got some kids. Folks, if you haven't watched our boys play, we still got a lot of potential. We really do. I tell folks, I said, we've got a pretty good football team. And I think I texted you Saturday morning. I said, if and this was with any team, maybe, and not every team, because we do have some talent. We got some guys that can run. We got some guys that can hit. We got some guys the big guys up front. So this doesn't apply to everybody, but if you have a little bit of discipline and a little bit of execution, we can do something special. We're gonna surprise and maybe scare somebody. Maybe we weren't supposed to this year, and have some fun doing it. So we've continued to get better these last couple of weeks, and we saw the results of that last Friday night. Thank you for those that did come out and support us before the rain and after the rain. But man, we want to encourage you to make that trip down to Thomasville this Friday. We actually have to get out of school early. We're having an early release at 1 o'clock, just so that we can have some buses back on campus in time enough to take our football team and our band and our cheerleaders, because they got to leave a little earlier. On the bus, it's going to be about 2.5 hours, maybe a few more minutes than that. But man, drive down, stop in Valdosta, get you something good to eat, and then ease on down to the football game about another 45 minutes. The drive down is the best. It's always harder coming back. I get that, because we'll be back 1:30 in the morning. But again, I encourage you to go out and see this Thomasville as a whole, and their high school and their stadium, and experience that with our players. If you can't make it, we will be there broadcasting live on the NFHS network. I'm hoping to have no reason why we wouldn't have a good signal to be able to send a good picture home to you, broadcasting our guys. But again, first and foremost, if you can be there where they can hear you, that would be awesome. Band's going to be there. I don't think they're performing on the field, but they'll be in the stands cheering our guys on as well. So again, man, I'm out of breath just talking about it. I'm excited, ready to go. So again, we encourage you to come. Guys, I thank you for being with us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
On this show. We're trying to film a little earlier in the week to get this information out to you. Believe it or not, I think the local newspaper, I think they watch some of it and get some information and do a little write-up on it as well. So that's more exposure. There you go, more good thing. I want to thank all the sponsors that are a part of this. Most of them are supporting the Red Raider Touchdown Club, but I also have some specific sponsors that I give credit to, my title sponsors for the broadcast. So look out for those on the video as well. Also, real quick, a plug. Over the next couple weeks, I've decided, this takes a little bit of time, a little bit of planning. We've been doing a football coaches show for, again, going on 16 years now. But I want to start interviewing, at least doing a one-show session with some of our other head coaches during this season, this fall season, where I'm going to have coming up next week, along with football. We're going to be interviewing. We'll have our softball head coach on the show, and then we've got cross country. Some people don't even know that's going on. Might be able to talk my fellow esports coach to come on here with me as well at some point, doing a segment, just to let the community know what else is going on and who's representing Bacon County and all facets and all other sports as well. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you at home for joining us on this week's edition of the Red Raider Coaches Show.
Yes, sir.
Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.